Got a last minute invitation to hunt West Texas for raccoons and also going to be calling other predators. This would be a great opportunity to bust out the 300 hammer that I've had since last November, running the 101 grade hammer blackout. This is for the 300 blackouts, but I've got this running 2920, almost 3000 FPS. Look at this dog. He just needs all the attention, you spoiled brat. Oh yeah, one other thing. You see this here? This is a mess. This is a brass catcher, but I learned the hard way hunting and field the way that I do. When you've got a side charge handle, it's really important to not bump this, which I apparently did quite a few times. So this is the goat brass catcher where I basically trimmed that section out of there. It was a beautiful 65 degrees when I got to the property, with the high only going to be in the low 70s. Ron had fun testing some sounds for his convergent hunting bullet on Cree. I got set up an hour before sunset. Ron was having issues with coons at his stand, so I would sit there that evening, even though the wind was wrong for the setup. 5 minutes after sitting in the blind, these deer were already moving. They definitely scented me and kept away. I knew it was going to be a full moon night, and man, this thing was massive tonight. Ron told me he was seeing an occasional boar between 9 and 10 p.m., so I sat there until 10:15. Literally nothing came out, but I did hear coyotes howling around me all night long. My first coyote set was literally 50 yards from the stand. The wind was blowing out of the north-northwest. I set up right next to the four-wheeler and the only brush in that portion of the field. I put the Icotec collar 70 yards to my northwest, facing the speaker towards the southwest. Coyotes almost always like to walk with the wind in their face. I did not use any coyote call, but immediately turned on Rabbit in Distress. Within 8 minutes, this female came walking in at about 200 yards. She moved just as expected, and I dropped her at 125 yards. And just like that, I had my first kill with the 300 hammer and the 101 blackout hammer bullet. Not gonna lie, I had a huge smile on my face. At a distance of 125 yards, the 101 grain hammer bullet smacked this coyote at 2,440 feet per second, which is a lot of boom. With all the coyote activity in that field, I decided to set up on the opposite end of the property. I positioned myself in the very southwest corner of the field, standing smack dab in the open. I put my collar 75 yards to my northeast, facing it directly east. I've had a lot of success calling coyotes from this pasture. When I came back and turned on my thermal, I caught a flash of this coyote working the tree line. Because of its size, I had to pause to confirm it wasn't the neighbor's dog. When it hit the fence line, I knew that it was already 125 yards out. The direction he was traveling, he wasn't getting any closer. I tried to stop him at about 200 yards. He wasn't going to stop. He was now about 225 yards out, if not farther. I tried stopping him again. Nothing. I missed the first shot. I put a major lead, knowing that he was close to 300 yards at this point. Boom, just like that, the 300 hammer dropped this coyote at almost 300 yards. I tried one more set in that field, but as soon as I turned on the Rabbit Distress, I got the rejection howl from coyotes in the tree line. After a 10-minute call, I packed out. I worked the field. I've had a ton of success, but no luck tonight. The wind started swirling, and the neighbor's dog was barking in the direction the coyotes typically move in from. Finally, I decided to check out a pond on my way out. This is literally the fattest coon I've ever seen in my life. The distorted picture of the coons were in the weeds and reeds of the pond. and this fat fur ball is now dead. I believe I hit the other one in the water, but did not get proof of death. Still giddy over the long-range coyote shot, I Google Earth the estimate distance of the shot. It was roughly 290 yards. At that distance, the bullet delivered a heck of a wallop, hitting it with almost 1,900 feet per second, which apparently was devastating. I typically am not a big fan of hunting the full moon, but tonight was awesome. Big thanks to Ron for inviting me out to hunt at the last minute. Next bullet I'll be messing with is the 57 grain hammer HHT out of my 223 Wild. So until then, stay tuned for my next adventure.